They take curling serious in the UP as well. In Calumet, they have their own DIY curling club. Beware world, they're starting to. Yeah, this is a shot of Houghton. Houghton and Hancock are both on hills. The entire town is on a hill, on a slope. So this is when we woke up. This is just outside of Houghton. Just south of Houghton, they have the Keweenaw Brewing Company. They have a brew pub, and they also have the brewing facility just outside of town. Huge facility. They are actually one of two now, I believe, but they not the first, but the first on their scale to do in cans. And they still do only can that they distribute. The rest is just served downtown at their brew pub.
And the reason for that is because you have to order, 150,000 cans?
Yes, to get a shipment of cans from Ball, you have to get an entire truckload of cans. So of every beer that they sell in cans, which I think is 4, they have 4 beers, or 3 or 4 in cans, they have to get a truckload of that beer can empty. Yeah, minimum 150,000 around there to get any of those cans. So they're very unique because they have that canning, and we get to help with the canning process. It's very interesting. Pretty cool to see.
Another really cool thing about Keweenaw is that it really is hands-on. These two are the owners that we're talking to, and not only are they the owners, but they also package their beer. They do have volunteers come in, but this is a pretty huge setup that 3 guys technically run, and that's just remarkable that when you drink local Michigan beer, it really shows that you're actually drinking a product that's created by the person who's actually getting the money from you buying it. So you directly know who gets the money and who doesn't. Where when you buy a Budweiser or a Pabst or whatever, you don't know who gets the money. You're never going to meet who actually gets the big paycheck.
Yeah, the guys who are getting the paycheck here are working on the line. I mean, they are doing this job. The people who get the money with those other, huge corporations are the investors who really, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say they don't deserve it, but they have nothing. The investors really have nothing invested but money. These people have their lives invested in this state and in this business.
Yeah, this process, if you watch, these owners actually do this themselves. They sit there, they do this.
Every six-pack of Keweenaw beer is hand-done, if you can believe that. Keweenaw is pretty widely distributed because they are the only Michigan-made beer that is canned. And every six-pack you see in a store is done by this process, which is remarkable.
By a lumberjack. A lumberjack from the UP touches each six-pack.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually bring in lumberjacks. Actual lumberjacks.
Miners on Wednesdays.
And barbarians. Because barbarians and Vikings still live in UP. When you thought that the barbarians and the Vikings left our culture, they really didn't. They just moved to the UP.
Here's Jill Martindale, the lone female on our trip, giving her shot at tossing 6-packs of Keweenaw Widowmaker. So who knows? Maybe your next 6-pack of Widowmaker was 6-packed by one of us, Jill Martindale, perhaps. Yeah, Schmieder doesn't work.
I mean, he's a raver. What do you want?
It is really remarkable you guys do this, the 3 of you on this side.
Cut your 6-pack plastics to ducks and seagulls and stuff. You all know the drill.
We say that is important. Whenever you get a 6-pack of anything, please, I will say, cut your 6-packs. Don't be lazy. When that stuff goes in the landfill, it can do horrible monstrosities to the native animal population. So be kind and cut your 6-pack straps.
I will also say, though, being that the 6-pack straps are bad for the environment, but I will say that it is true, though, that canning beer is much more environmentally sound, environmentally friendly than bottled beer, because it's much more of your metal are recycled in glass. That's for sure. So try to get more people. I know Colorado is actually going way more towards canning at their local breweries, which I'd like to see happen more in Michigan, actually.
Also recycle. Metal is the most, like Ryan was saying, was the most easily recyclable material. I mean, you just melt it down. Recycle. Michigan here, we have the 10-cent deposit, of course. It makes it nice. I mean, you can live off of that stuff. I mean, homeless people Michigan-wide. Really,
I've been doing nothing but collecting cans for the past 5 years.
that's how we funded the trip. Actually, we had all these breweries give us their empties. But seriously, recycle. I mean, if all this metal's going to landfill, what a shame. Just recycle.
Recycle.
And recycle. Like I said, Michigan is the only state in the entire country that has the 10-cent deposit. I believe it's a shame the other states don't all adopt that policy. I mean, granted, you are paying more when you're checking out, but it really makes a difference because you do see lines and lines of people returning their cans. It is really a shame to see it wind up in the landfill to sit there forever when it could be recycled. So get that 10 cents or get that 5 cents. Yeah, Illinois, you got to wise up. So if you're watching this in Illinois, you need to call your local politician and tell him to wise up or just move to Michigan because we're way better than you are.
We have a lot of room in Michigan. Speaking of moving to Michigan, just move here. Yeah, move to Detroit. Plenty of abandoned buildings.
The whole thing's about, like I was explaining to some of you, just like going out 8 days, just trying to really get a really positive side of Michigan, not just Michigan beer, but Michigan in general, and just trying to go out and try to make certain points that people don't necessarily see when they see Michigan outside. Like, we'd like to do this for people outside to see, outside of Michigan to actually see this film and be like, oh wow, there's actually some really cool stuff going on there. There's some, more stuff than Detroit, more stuff than unemployment and whatever else we read about constantly in the papers. So we're starting off
So
with
here's
this,
the
like,
three
Michigan
guys
beer.
who actually run
why
this
is it great? Why is it
operation.
great
You got
to
the
support
brewer in
it?
the middle, and you got the two owners on each
If you guys
side.
want to comment on that, that'd be awesome.
Well, Michigan beer is just, there are a lot of good brewers in the state. I mean, there are other good brewers around the country too, but Michigan's got their fair share of good brewers. So I'd give it a try. If you're buying something other than those foreign beers like Budweiser and Coors and Miller.
I think that's one of the best comments of this film is the fact that they are foreign beers.
They're all good.
That we don't really realize that there actually are.
A Belgian conglomerate that owns
Yeah. Yeah, Budweiser is not a U.S.-made beer, so if you really want to buy local, be proud of Michigan. Yeah, so I mean, your money's still leaving the. Here's a very unique thing. They gave us, I believe, 8 cases. Yeah, 8 cases of beer they gave us. Yeah, and that was just
A lot of beer to drink.
Yeah, and also really nice of them. They were super supportive of this, and so just send out a big thank you to Keweenaw for doing this.
Yeah, those guys out in Q, as you can see, we don't know what's going on right now. I believe the true story is when we went there, after the interview, they were like, all right, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for helping us can, a bunch of beer. We got a parting gift for you guys. And what happened was we thought, maybe they'll give us a 6-pack of beer each, to go home with, which we would have been completely happy with. But they walk out with this dolly with 8 cases of beer, and it's like, here you guys go. Here's 8 cases of beer. That I believe is 196 cans of Michigan beer. Rock on.
In this shot, you can basically see how Houghton and Hancock are just on an incline. Both of them are in between hills. And along the horizon is the Quincy Mine, the mine that basically fueled the cities. Most of the city was employed there. And this is the bridge crossing the river, a lift bridge, so that the freighters could get through to carry this, the copper, actually. But the Quincy Mine was at one point the deepest mine in the world, and employed most of the city, and probably was sent straight to Detroit and Chicago to be manufactured into something else.
Let me zoom in.
Here's the spider Jesus that we're not throwing snowballs at. That's a camera mistake. There's no one throwing snowballs at this giant I think it's a Spider Jesus
With snowshoes.
with snowshoes
Might as
on.
well just do one.
Snowballs. Get with it. Snow.
One of the best things of Michigan is snowballs and snow fights and snowball fights,
Whitewashes.
I'm like,
whitewashes,
Wedding.
what a waste.
snowboarding, skiing,
Too good of a Dodger. And trucks.
trucks.
Dodge trucks.
Look at that fucking truck. It'll run you over. This is where we slept.
Oh, this is the Springs.
yeah,
I
right.
can't pronounce the actual name. It's like Kichi Iki Niki, but called Big Springs. It's man, it's just along the southern UP between Escanaba and the bridge. It's close to a small town, but you head north, and there's this beautiful spring. It's been a state park actually for over 100 years. You can go on a little raft. Actually, it's a really cool park, and I'm sure not as many people have seen it that they should have. But you can go over these springs, and it looks like tropical water. When we got there, unfortunately, it was very, very, very dark, so you could barely see it. But you pull yourself out on this spring. You look 30 feet down to see where this spring is bubbling. And it looks like a warm spring. It looks tropical waters, but
That's a maze.
it's
How the hell do I get over here?
it's not. And we made sure that Ryan had to jump for the raft. You'll see this memorable raft
Whoa!
coming up.
Why is it like this? We pulled out. Indiana Jones!
Yeah, here I am, and you can also see my consistent weight gain throughout this trip, which definitely is taking notice now on the. I believe, what is this, the 4th day?
Yeah, I think we're on day 4.
Day 4 here. Yep, day 4 here.
I really wish. I bet if we would have gotten here a little bit earlier in the daytime when the sun was out more, you would have seen this part in the film because it was so breathtaking. Like it was just this little small lake in the middle of the UP that you could see the bottom. It was like 30 feet deep and you could see the bottom. That just goes to show how clear and pristine the water is. Yeah.
Take it, Ryan. You gotta jump. You gotta jump. We're not bringing the boat any closer.
In case you fall in, we're fine. Oh. We're taking out.
Great jump.
Yeah, this is actually a raft that is floating. That there's a cable that is tied in between the sides of the lake. That what they're doing right now is they're steering they're pulling it, and it's too dark to really see and appreciate. But you really got to go to this lake in the UP because you could see all the way down. I bet the water was so cold. I would have wanted to go swimming, but oh man, you could actually see an aquifer in the bottom under the lake, an aquifer leaking up into the water with complete fresh water. It was just beautiful.
It's just one of the hidden gems that Michigan and the UP has to offer, really. I mean, they're everywhere. The natural beauty of this state is innumerable. It's incredible.
We're not drinking in the back of the van, but in the state of Wisconsin, it actually is legal to drink in the back of the van as long as the driver cannot reach the beer. Probably because they have an overwhelming amount of garbage beer that they have to drink and get rid of.
You can actually drive drinking one of those beers because you will not get drunk.
Here I am sitting passenger seat. We've got about a $4,000 camera we're filming this trip with, and I am holding the camera outside of the van, risking my my livelihood.
Just outside of Mackinac is a new wind farm that I think is actually a private venture by some small group to introduce wind energy to the state. We are lacking it behind in renewable energy sources.
Not a mistake on the lake.
It is not a mistake on the lake. This is actually inland. The top of the Mitten is a very windy place because it's between two lakes. Just outside of Cadillac, there's also a wind farm inland. Has been that is doing very well. So we do need to. We are seeing that pop up, at least in our state. When energy is here, we need to harness that. And this is Shorts, an incredible brewery. They redid this bar. You can see on the wall there's plaster that they did not take down, in the shape of that has Shorts shaved into them, as well as the lower and upper peninsula of plaster left onto the wall. At any one time, there is. Do you guys remember how many beers on tap? There's many beers that you cannot get out. The beers there, some of the beers there, you cannot get outside of the brewery, and they are all incredible. Just like the bottled beers, they are all incredible. Make the venture there to Bel Air, Michigan, and the food is fantastic as well. It's a very good experience all around. All around, Bel Air is a hell of a town.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, there's 3 open places. There's a movie theater, a movie rental store, and Shorts. Yeah, a restaurant or two, but it's a pretty unique town.
Yeah, like Joe Short told us in the movie, basically he had all his friends move to Bel Air to help out with the brewery and buy houses in Bel Air. So Shorts alone is a good, it just goes to show that Shorts, a lot of the people living in the community work at Shorts, and they are supporting the town. They took a small little town and built it into something special, and that had a lot to do with Joe Short doing all that. So way to go, Joe.
Also, the area that Shorts is located, Bel Air, is near Torch Lake. It's just north of Traverse City as well. Beautiful area. Take the vacation. Just go there. It's awesome. You will not regret it. Michigan is the land of lakes. There's lakes everywhere. It's not too far from Lake Michigan. Very small town. There's a river running through it. And here we are, actually. A beautiful spot under the bridge. You can just see it coming through.
Yeah, this was right outside of Bel Air.
Yeah, this is right downtown Bel Air. We went down and just got some shots of a creek that runs through right in downtown Bel Air. It's literally like a block from Shorts we're at right now.
Look at that crystal clear water. I mean, we have this everywhere in Michigan. Most major cities, most cities in general, are near some kind of river. Some are not this clear. I mean, the Muskegon towards the end, the Grand, for sure, is not this clear. But
About the rivers here is that since the industry dying, a lot of the industry dying in Michigan has been unfortunate for a lot of people, but it has been very fortunate for the environment. Like the Detroit River is actually, they say that it's basically back to where it was 40 years ago, because the industrial side of things dying and everything going back to nature. So the Detroit River is actually coming back to life because it doesn't have all this shit being pumped into it. And just look at this water here. It's just amazing.
yeah, this is on the Old Mission Peninsula, just outside of Traverse City. Traverse City is between two peninsulas, and Jolly Pumpkin is on the Old Mission Peninsula. So this is Jolly Pumpkin. We had a great experience. Casey actually did not have as good of experience. You'll see it here coming up. He went to go get a shot of how beautiful the place was and thought he could get through this ice that is obviously melting. But you'll see here shortly what happens, Casey.
Yeah, I broke away from the group at this point and wanted to go out onto the ice. And
don't go close to the edge. You don't go close to the edge.
Yeah, don't go close to the edge. I wanted to get a good shot of Jolly Pumpkin, and I fell through the ice. It was about 2 feet deep, maybe.
Oh, that sucked up.
And as you can see, it was very awful. I broke through the ice.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
It was so cold. Yeah, crystal clear water. But man, it was ice cold, hurting my shins. But however, I did get a really nice shot of Jolly Pumpkin Brewery from out onto the lake. So you guys all got to Get a good shot in the movie for that. I took one for the team.
Oh God! I just fucking fell through the ice.
Also,
Oh my God!
I will say that
I just fell through the fucking ice.
yeah.
To look at my fucking pants.
This is a really funny part with Casey, because actually we were inside Jolly Pumpkin looking for Casey, waiting to do the interview because we couldn't find our cameraman.
Our cameraman's just outside. Hold on a second.
And but Mike, who was the owner of Jolly Pumpkin, was one of the most personable guys.
Are you filming right now?
Awesome guy.
Oh God, they're so cold.
Yeah, as you can see, none of us are professionals. We were just having the time of our lives, really. Trying to make a movie. None of us knew what we were doing, and we had a great time here at Jolly Pumpkin, the old Mission Peninsula of Michigan. Mike Hawley, you're the man. Nova Scotia represent.
Alright, so we're gonna start with your name and a little bit of history about this place and your brewing history.
Oh, Christ. Oh, let's start with the beer that just got spilled first.
I think they're on top of that.
They're on top of that? So we'll start again? Hi, I'm Mike Hall. I'm the owner, head brewer of Jolly Pumpkin Brewing Company.
They also brew the beer for North Peak. They not North Peak the brewery in Traverse City, but the beer that goes out that is bottled in the unique bottles that they are bottled in is brewed here at Jolly Pumpkin.
Yeah, it's just really cool. This guy's running a pretty large operation here, but still is a really down-to-earth, fun guy who seems to be, and also great food. Great food.
This sandwich was one of the best sandwiches of my life. Period.
Yeah, it was just really cool to see a guy just really just want to hang out with us and talk about beer and his operation. It was just really cool.
But in legend, Wolfman, whatever.
Here on the peninsula, Old Mission Peninsula, it's on the 96th parallel, where a lot of hops are grown, and it is the Old Mission Peninsula specifically. They grow tons of cherries, tart cherries and regular cherries. It's the cherry capital of Michigan, but they've also started converting some of the farmland into vineyards and now hops, because we are consuming, and a few years back there was a shortage of hops. Here on the peninsula they are starting to grow hops again, and they...
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, the tank hit, which is pretty cool. I don't know if this has ever been done before. Here it goes.
First time.
Here we go. Your man taking a hit.
Look at that. Mike Hall is one of the probably the most amazing brewer we met on the trip. I mean, when you're going to let a bunch of nerdy kids into your brewery and give Matt Monsian a tank hit like that. Yeah, he took it like a man. That was just awesome, don't you know?
That's the first. Oh, man. And that's as fresh as it gets.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
More than a much more.
Wow. I've never ever given anybody a tank hit. 25 years of brewing. Here's the first tank hit. Intentional. I think it's the time I've seen somebody open a valve on their own tank and just flow across the room. And wake up drunk 2 hours later.
Matt just took a tank hit. Wow.
These are your bottles.
Yep, this is the bottom line. It's very simple.
This is like one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
That is the best sandwich ever fucking had.
Give a good bark.
This day, I will say right now, we didn't. This trip was about supporting Michigan and not just being another a movie like American Beer, which I thought sucked really bad. But we didn't want to be like that. But this is one of the days where B Money here did get a little bit out of control and a little bit drunk. I mean, nothing bad happened. We were very respectful everywhere we went. But B Money did drink maybe a little too much this day. But it was to be expected, at least, somewhat. But I have to say, just a little disclaimer, I really hated American Beer and the way that they represented themselves. But, we are talking about beer here, so sometimes people do get a little out of control. And that beer is not open that Joe's holding, even though it looks like it doesn't have a cap on it. Actually, that beer company here has invisible beer caps.
Yeah. I know it looks like Matt's driving and he's drunk right now, but obviously Cole is the one driving. Matt, we usually had a third passenger up front helping navigate.
His establishment was like, you know.
Yes, again, we were very careful out of the fires, drunk drivers. And that was that, what's that company called?
There's no doubt that he had to go.
North Peak. North Peak with their invisible beer caps gives the impression that it doesn't have one.
So at this point, I did drink a little bit too much, but middle of the day, we did have 8 cases. We did have 8 cases coming down from the UP, and then we stopped at Shorts, and then we were on our way to a beer festival in Traverse City, where we had 8 cases from the UP, and then Jolly Pumpkin also gave us a case of North Peak beer, and
everyone's beer is going to be drank by all of us. Is that the correct?
Well, here we're on our way to a great beer festival called Suds and Snow, which was just, this is probably, honestly, some of us say this was one of the best days of our lives.
Yeah, this might have been one of the best days of my lives. When we pulled up, there was a Kid Rock cover band playing American Badass. How cool is that? How Michigan is that?
Yeah, you can't really get much more Michigan than Kid Rock, even though I have to be honest, Kid Rock fucking sucks.
Ryan's wrong. Kid Rock rules. Michigan rules.
I hope what happened to Ted Nugent happens to Kid Rock, and we just kick him out of the state in general. Because I know he chased Ted Nugent out, and Kid Rock, if you're watching this, I think the same will happen to you in due time.
Though also, Kid Rock released a beer called Badass Beer.
He brews with local hops. He brews with local grapes.
Yep, me
he
drunk.
brews with local shit, man. What more do you need, camera? Fuck you. I'm marrying Mike.
I'm marrying Mike. Anyway.
Go for the bun. Go for the bun.
Kid Rock released his own. I can't even say it. Kid Rock released his own beer. It's called American Badass or Badass Beer. And it's very, very cheap. It's what we need from a local brewery as well. I mean, there has to be the nice beers that are obviously brewed with more quality, more product, more ingredients that are more expensive, but a cheap, kind of low-density beer that is also very affordable.
Yeah, here at the Suds and Snow Festival, basically you had to walk. You came in, and then there was an area where people had beers, but then you had to walk through the woods on 2 different paths, and the 2 breweries that were out there were Shorts and Right Brain, and it was just awesome time. Like, this kind of shows how Michigan can be fun in the winter. We're overcoming the winter cold or whatever people want to look at us. It's actually really fun. It's actually really nice. It's not, no one's freezing out here. It's just a good time.
Whitewash. Get the whitewash. There we go. Right on the face.
Yep, B-Money. This is like I said, another disclaimer. B-Money. This is the one day B-Money kind of got a little drunk, you know, but no one was nothing bad happened. We were all respectful the whole time.
A lot of bad stuff happened. I blacked out. When you come down, Michigan beer is dangerous as well as it is positive. It was a dangerous day, but I'm glad to have.
Michigan beer is it is dangerous. It can be. Michigan beer needs to be taken. Can't be taken lightly. Cannot be taken lightly because it's real beer. They put a lot of work in this. When you drink local beer, it's not like drinking watered down corn beer. It's real beer. So to everyone out there who gets involved with local beers or whatnot, just remember, you drink 2, Founders beers or Shorts beers. That's not like drinking 2 Budweisers. You have to really be careful. These beers are the real deal. They use real ingredients and not corn and water.
You're not driving anywhere, are you?
Who are you from?
We're doing a documentary called Locally Buzzed. We're going.
What's up, baby? We are locally buzzed right now, okay?
Yeah.
We're having a good time. Welcome to Soap and Suds 2010, 2010. Bring it on! Go that way, you're going to have a fun time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
They obviously didn't pay attention to what I just said and took the Michigan beers lightly. And there's Russ from Right Brain.
He really does support his community. I mean, he's here. He's part of the community. He's supporting events. Is that a butt?
Yep. Obviously, when you're drinking a couple beers, everybody knows out there that there comes a time when you gotta take the number one. And they, here at Suds and Snow, they really took care of us and made the men's urinals in the snow. It was really awesome. But man, what other state? Tell me right now, what other state can you go to? You're gonna have a beer festival in the middle of the wilderness. Really, you had to walk a mile out in the woods to go to these beer tents. It was just beautiful. All these people gathering for Michigan beer.
Yeah, it was truly amazing. These beer festivals actually happen around Michigan a lot, and this is the second one we were at on this trip actually, and it's just great to see. It's cool to bring people out in the wintertime. The consumption of alcohol doesn't have to be a negative one. It can be a positive one if people know what they're doing and what they're actually putting in their body. And one of the cool things about these beers is that it's 3 to 5 ingredients. You're not talking about your average Budweiser does have 127 different ingredients in it. And you're talking about some beers that have a few ingredients. Yeah, they get you a little buzzed up and like whatever. But like I said, again, I can't stress enough on this trip where we did watch the driving and we stayed careful and we stayed safe.
Actually, I am filming you because you're looking really good right now.
Yep, that's James Mativa, sound man.
Straight from the heart of Michigan, Muskegon, Michigan.
Where's the beer? And here is some snowshoeing that I think these two, B-Money and Jill, are the only two that partaked in any snowshoeing, right, for this trip?
Yeah. There really, I think, was this week a lack of snow for snowshoeing. You really want there to be more snow, I think, than this. And usually in Traverse City there is, but there was actually a warm spell for a day or two, melted a little bit. So it was awesome, though, just the same. Walking through the woods on snowshoes is nothing to be scoffed at. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance, please do take it up. Same is to be said as of cross-country skiing or downhill skiing as well.
You look like you're gonna beat someone.
Yeah, how many places can you go? You can go snowshoeing out in the woods.
Isn't it fun being the
But
only
here's
guy?
me holding the camera, filming James Mativa, our audio tech man. Great guy out of Muskegon, Michigan. But basically out here, we were fairly intoxicated because people were giving us free beer wherever we went.
Hey, we gotta head up front, guys.
People would load us up with a bunch of beer. And B-Money and Jill would throw the snowshoes on and tromp through the woods. They didn't even know what they were doing. They just wanted to run around in a bunch of snowshoes. And
focus. Boom, right on.
Yeah, what they were doing, they're out in the woods and they wanted to race in snow boots. And she fell. The girl always falls in the movie, don't you know? And B-Money triumphs.
I know this is usually the part in most horror movies where they would get killed.
Yes, there should be an evil snowman.
There should be definitely head being chopped off here, but it's a documentary. It's about beer, so that never happens. No one, everyone survives the trip.
One of the ladies in the hold on, stop.
Yeah, no one dies in a documentary ever.
Alright, walk right on past me here.
Someone died in The King of Kong? Really?
I love Michigan beer. Love Michigan beer. Not so close.
Oh, that woman doesn't look intoxicated at all. Oh, and Casey had sex with that woman.
Yes, they do.
If I was Shorts,
This guy.
I would make sure that I have
This guy doesn't have a dumb hat on at all.
Oatmeal stout.
in the autumn ale.
Butter oatmeal stout.
Because that's perfect. And I love Shorts. Just bring me those two. Oatmeal, peanut butter stout, and the autumn ale.
Awesome.
I love you, Shorts.
Awesome, thank you.
Ooh, baby, Shorts, I'm hard for you.
I'm working out. Hey, bud. Hey there.
In general, and beer is great. And like
That guy with the hat, I tell ya. You know,
Maloney loved us.
he also didn't pay attention to how strong Michigan beers could be.
Shout out to the guy in the hat.
This is Paul. Paul, I'm sorry you only made one scene in the movie. We thought you'd make a lot more, but you didn't because we don't really. I don't know. You didn't really say anything good.
Come to Michigan.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Michigan beer is the best. The best. Come to the West.
Why is it important? Why is it like?
The basic thing is Michigan beer to support is I want to support Michigan. Why support something that's out of Michigan? And the thing is, it's good. Why go to with Budweiser, which is mediocre beer for one, and I prefer to go to a bar that has a good beer on tap instead of something that's, well, piss, you know.
Before Arbor Brewery.
Oh yeah?
I do. Yeah, and he worked at Borderia, which was before Arbor Brewery.
What's your favorite Michigan
You guys
beer?
have kind of a strange voice.
Arbor Brewery! Yay!
Arbor Brewing is a great brewery. And that is a classic Michigan fire.
Burn your ass, man. This extra, Welcome strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Two commitments, what I figured out. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Here they are. I gotta make you understand. You are never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye.
All right, here we are at Kevin Kitchen's house in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh my God!
Your brother was here.
This is the pact of Lansing and Muskegon. This is Kevin Kitchell. You want to see some beer?
Oh yeah.
All right, come on the porch. This is my motherfucker. This is my motherfucker.
All right, here's Kevin Kitchell's house. Lives with Travis Dodge and Dylan. He's showing us how the beer he brews. Kevin and his housemates are very, very into the local beer and brewing their own beer and local food. Pretty much everything local. It's a great house, a great operation they run there.
This guy anus? Tastes like anus? I don't like it. Tastes like butt? Not into it. It tastes like big butts?
Dude, you gotta really, man, this fucking...
All I need is the fuck Detroit side.
Let's mix it right now, Kevin.
Like I said, that's just a little disclaimer that everyone's a little bit, it's been a long day for a lot of us. And, you know, we're just hanging out with some friends here.
Out of control.
We drank 3.5.
I saw that shit with the boot.
The boot!
Is that true? Like a dog?
That's true! It's a liter! It's 2 liters!
No cups. No cups. No cups.
2 liters!
No cups, just brewing class.
All right, here is one of Kevin's buffalo hats that I'm sporting right here.
Travis Dodge, the best human being in the world.
Yeah, here's Travis Dodge, a resident who gets checks from the government for being Native American. B-Money again here. This is a solid decline down for this day, but this is known to be happening for like a little bit. You know, I mean, we are drinking beer on this trip. And,
I'll give you what? Alright, we're rolling.
all right, here they are together in their interview. Great guys.
Real Michigan man.
I want to say these three guys have a garden out back, growing their own food, brewing their own beer, doing great things.
They may look like complete alcoholics, but let me tell you, these thrashed out mid 20-year-olds, they can grow some kale, they can grow some vegetables, and they can brew their own beer. How many of you wastoids out there watching this can say that?
This man loves fava beans. Who's even tried a fava bean?
You know, another cool thing that I have to say about this house that they run there is, I would suggest, even myself and a lot of people out there, is like if you are a beer consumer, they have a kegerator. When they don't brew their own beer, they just fill their keg at the local Michigan Brewing Company, so they don't go through the glass and the cans and all the other shit that you go through when you go on by. They just do that. You don't see a bunch of cans in their house. So here they are.
They make their own beer. They really do.
Oh my God! Life is life.
Oh my God!
And we all want to live.
I have to say, the interview's over. Great footage and
Wait a minute. Scat point.
Hold on, Michigan. Yeah. One thing I want to do.
Not cross-eyed. I actually have a disease. After 10 p.m., my eyes go cross-eyed. It's not my fault. I was born that way.
No one got drunk that night but me. I assure you.
It's about Michigan beer, but it's also about Michigan. Like Michigan and why. Why is Michigan great?
It's the most beautiful state in the union. We've got it all. We've got sandy beaches, windy walks, mountains. We've got tundra. We've got lakes, swamps. If you like swamps, it's a good place.
You got swabs.
Yeah.
He's a poet.
We've got it's a great place to grow things and live life.
I choose Michigan because
if you seek a peasant peninsula, look about.
What does that mean?
That's actually the state motto.
Opening of the documentary.
Michigan is
Nothing else. Nothing else. We'll cut to that.
It's the state seal.
Yeah, Michigan is known for its bikers too.
It's got to be a little bit higher.
Oh, here's Zay, right?
Yeah.
Kevin's
Kevin loves his cat.
Kevin's cat. He also takes care of two glorious cats that are very overweight.
Kevin loves his cats.
I do have to say, the only negative thing Kevin does do in his life is feeds his cats too much.
We got a minute of footage.
Coonan. Oh, the triple IPA. Oh my, Coonan state renowned. Everyone around the state. Okay. Coonan Brewing Company in Warren, Michigan, the east side of the state, just north of Detroit. Small town, kind of paved over by the people fleeing to the suburbs.
I'm Dean Sturwall, an avid craft beer lover from Indianapolis, Indiana. Recently moved up here to Michigan about a month ago, and I'm loving the beer scene already. So, right now we're at Coonan Brewery.
Because I'll rip them off! I'll rip them off right now!
As of recently, the triple IPA from there is here in Grand Rapids, and I love it. Their beer is fantastic.
I forgot to take my medicine. I have medicine that sedates me and keeps me normal, but they stole it and hid it on me. So right now I'm kind of going through that. So I'm sorry about this part right here.
Hey, is Kevin coming or no?
Kill somebody! I'm gonna kill somebody!
I'm not going to kill anybody. I just need to get my medicine in me, and once I do, everything will be fine. This part will be over soon. Hold tight. I'm not going to rip anybody apart or rip the ceiling off.
Cigar. This is James. I think we made a pit stop on the road just so because James was the designated driver in the Detroit area, which was kind of a shame because Detroit has so many breweries in the metro area, and James was the designated driver in that area, so we made a pit stop so he got a cigar.
I can't wait anymore.
Trevor Jamestad, I'm vegan, and I had one of the best vegan meals, the most unique vegan meals for a brewery. Unfortunately, Matt had a very raw burger, obviously, but this is this guy's doing a lot of really here you can tell my constant weight gain, definitely in this picture right here, where I gained my 100 pounds during the trip.
The facility here in just outside of downtown. I mean, it is in downtown, I guess. In Detroit, they brew their beer in the same facility where they make their own cheese, which is very cool. I mean, they make their own cheese there. They also make their own beer. I mean, they really do create their own thing here in downtown Detroit. I mean, they're making their own products here. It's really cool to see. Really cool to see. And it's very close, actually. It's just across the street from another brewery as well. That part of Detroit is very, very cool. Just near Wayne State.
Now we're like,
Wayne State.
we have these newfound like friends that we don't even know who they are, but we got to do this for you. You know, we got to do this for
Here's
you.
downtown Detroit.
And this is like, it's
outside of
inspiring.
Traffic Jam and
This is
stuff.
inspiring. This is awesome. Yeah. You took the risk on this.
This is pretty cool here. This is a building that the owner of Traffic Jam and Stuff bought and is actually trying to renovate and trying to make it a new housing. And this is a hell of a risk to do in downtown Detroit.
You 4'9"
You know, so it's really cool that like he's actually putting his money on the line, trying to take a city that everyone is like, oh my god, what's going on there? And you know, this is us doing a little bit of wrestling promos.
Too much fun. All right, ready? Let him cut it. Let him cut it.
Hey. All right.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go for it. All right.
No, just yell.
Straight.
You gotta yell.
Hit your Bob!
That was a punch, you dumb assholes. All right, who wants it for it? Because I'm going to do it right. Seriously, this is a fucking joke. Okay.
Pick him up.
All right, you stupid motherfucker. I hate you, dumb. What the?
That's how you correctly poke someone's forehead. It's so you don't have to get into a fight ever. Just poke their forehead. Ever get into a fight, poke someone's forehead. They'll back off, they'll leave you alone. No violence will occur.
You know why? Because you have thumbs. You have these thumbs. You're a up motherfucker because your fingers are
I use my right
real fingers. Get the real fingers to come talk.
This neighborhood, I mean, we're causing a lot of ruckus in this neighborhood, but this neighborhood actually really does have a lot going for it. There's two breweries. They're renovating a lot of houses. That house, that apartment complex that we showed, you'd have a fire, and they were going to tear it down to build a parking lot or some fast food restaurant. Instead, they renovated it.
This is a hotel room in Ypsilanti that we definitely had to cut from the film because we were all, let's be honest here, this was night 7 on the trip, and we had all drinking. We had so much beer. Like we said earlier in Q&A, they give us 8 cases of beer, 196 cans of beer. Yeah.
Shorts. We had growlers from Shorts as well.
We had so much beer, so we're just going to be honest here. We were all really drunk in a hotel in Ypsilanti. What else is there to do?
Very sketchy.
There was a crack pipe found behind the bed, and
there's no drugs in Michigan. No drugs.
Yeah. Well, there's a crack pipe that was obviously brought in from Ohio. And then you got a little glimpse of my stomach, my weight gain throughout this extravaganza. And there I'm promoting my new film, Trapped in UP, that will come out sometime.
And these will all be in the final wrestling match will be Jill. To everything.
That's Graham Henning, local resident in Grand Rapids, great guy, supporter of local beer.
Wrestling, it's a wrestling state.
Yep, great guy.
It's a wrestling state.
And yeah, Michigan is the wrestling state. There is some absolute great wrestlers. The Sheik, classic wrestler. Sabu, Rob Van Dam, all great wrestlers from this state. And I'm also not only the director of this film, but I'm also a professional wrestler, where I'm putting James to sleep right now.
Team Muskegon.
Yeah, this is us in the hotel here in Ypsilanti. Things may seem to be a little out of control.
Get the belt, James.
James is doing a very sneaky move. Taking his belt off is a very sneaky move. Very sneaky move.
Oh, right in the crotch.
All right, here we are at Corner Brewery.
After all the drunken nights in Ypsilanti.
We're doing our last.
We all forgot about that night. We all forgot.
The
last day of the trip.
Which one? Harmony House? It just said no, it was, yeah. It was Harmony House? Or no, is it right next to the gas station?
You can see my weight gain very well here. I definitely have put on some pounds, and I'm gonna gain about 70 pounds just today.
So, first question. First thing is, tell us your name and tell us your brewing history.
Alright, I'm Logan Shadig. I started working here almost 3 years ago.
This guy's a really cool guy because one of the cool things about Michigan, I have to say, is that like seeing younger and younger people getting involved with good beer.
Exactly.
And I think Logan was like 23 or 24.
Yeah, a real young guy who loved his local beer.
And a beer snob at that age is just awesome to see. Arbor Brewing, awesome place.
Thank you, Arbor Brewing.
Yes, thank you to Arbor Brewing for being awesome and treating us very well.
Yeah, all that food you can see is on the house. Arbor Brewing, just gave us all this food because they're awesome.
Sure.
I'm fucking blank, man. Told you this was gonna be bad.
This guy, he just got out of the state penitentiary.
Up at the Soap and Snuds, Snow and Suds. I have to say that man fed me beer, and it was fine beer that he had made himself. He's a fine brewer.
Yes, ex-con, but still fine brewer.
Vines are called vines, and actually what you're getting essentially is the flower of the plant. That's what they pick. Now these have been sort of.
This is also a very intelligent brewer from Grizzly Peak. Very intelligent. Actually, taught us some really cool stuff and showed us some really hands-on stuff about brewing and where our beer comes from.
More three-dimensional. Again, it's been dried and sort of compressed, but more three-dimensional. That's essentially what they pick right off the vine there. And these are Cascade hops.
If you care at all what is in your beer, man, Grizzly Peak in Detroit, they'll tell you straight up. In Ann Arbor, yeah. They'll straight up tell you what is in your beer when you drink it. And that's what you got to look for. You got to know the quality of what you're drinking.
Called the looping gland. You'll see this sort of yellowish powder there, and that tends to give most of the flavor, aroma, and bitterness essentially. The raw hops we tend to use in that AIC, that hop chamber, and we tend to dry hop with them. Like most brewers, the actual kettle hops we add, we actually use processed pelletized hops, which right here. They pretty much just look like rabbit food. The stuff they take raw hops, those cones that I showed you, they mash them up in an oxygen-neutral environment so they won't oxidize or anything in argon or nitrogen or something like that. They powderize them, and then they pelletize them. Same aroma properties, same bittering properties, and everything else. They store much better, and they're more compact. And basically, when I'm done boiling, and I've moved all my wort out of the kettle, I can just drain it and let that stuff go down the drain.
Alright, basically what happened is our battery died on our little audio recording thing, so we no longer have Ryan and B-Money with us. I am now, this is Casey by the way, I'm now with James Mativa, who is on the trip, who unfortunately was unable to make the first commentary party we threw. But James, it's great to have you here in the director's chair.
It's great to be here.
Can you pick that bad boy up one more time? Take a sip of it and set it back down. I guess basically like you said, we're doing the commentary, just kind of briefly telling you what's going on in all the scenes.
No, I'm keeping it stationary.
Stationary. I'm still gonna put sunglasses on for this one.
And there's James looking sexy as hell.
I was so hungover that day. I think we all were. Here we are at Schmoes.
Yeah, back in Grand Rapids. This is the last stop. Unfortunately, B-Money and Jill had departed from the trip early. They were the two that left in Ann Arbor. But,
The strong stayed strong, the weak died off. We made it, boys. We made it, boys.
Yep, this is when the trip was pretty much done. We were just waiting to go back to Founders. And here we are walking down the streets of Grand Rapids, Michigan, to the final stop on the brewery trip, Founders Brewery, one of the greatest breweries of all time in Michigan.
What's up, buddy? What's up, guys? Hey, Daryl. How's it
That's
going?
Matt Schmieder's friend Daryl. Looks like a cool guy. I've never met him.
I was just so looking forward to a Dirty Bastard at this point. It was great.
Oh my. Yep, this is outside of Founders. They have a really nice deck you can go out and drink. All seasons. Here you can see up here James and I's old roommate Rob Stilson and James's
Dick Parson.
Yeah, Richard Parson. Good guys there. They came all the way from Muskegon to come reunite with us on our valid, great homecoming.
How's it going? Hey there.
As you can see, we have a fan base back here at town. People throng in to come see us.
We're kind of a big deal.
As you can see, we're all getting carded.
This is overwhelming.
Matt's so happy.
He's a happy guy.
Founders.
Edit the sound right. You can edit the sound clips and whatnot, right? I'm having a hard time being candid.
What's up, buddy?
I mean, it was great traveling all over the state, but I mean, I'm sure everybody can relate to the fact that when you're gone for an extended period of time, it's just so good to be back home, you know, seeing all your friends again. Founders, nice cooler selection. Singles. That's Mike Bustler. He was the assistant director in post-production, and that is Ryan and his wife Claire.
Yeah, another shout out to Mike. He really held Ryan together during post-production.
Yeah, the grueling months of doing the editing for the film, Bustler really came in handy. He was Ryan's driver. He drove him out to Muskegon a lot for editing, and big ups to Mike Bustler, major part of the film. Oh yeah, and Chaz, of course, that's Chaz from Schmoes, came out to see him. Chaz and Jill had a special little connection.
Moment. It's a moment.
They had a special connection throughout the film. The cutest. Ryan and his wife again, so glad to be back in her arms. Look at that nerd. There's Graham again. You saw him in.
What I love about Michigan, the cities are grand and the lakes are great.
At this point in the night, everybody was like just so glad to be home, and I mean everybody on the trip except for B-Money, James, and I we technically weren't home yet because we don't live in Grand Rapids, so they were all having a great time.
I don't remember that.
You have anything to say about that?
I don't remember that.
But yeah, like we said, we all weren't home yet, and we just wanted to get home, so we left that night early. I took the camera with me, so we didn't get a whole lot of stuff of Founders. But this footage right here is actually after the trip was over, after we've been home for a while. The brewers that we didn't get to talk to when we went out on the trip itself, we got a hold of later on to get a hold of them, and two of them were Dave and Mike. I believe it's Mike. Or Steve?
There's a lot of Steves.
The two guys from Founders. They were really nice to sit down with us. Yep, there's my girlfriend and my sister, and Lori and Gary. Gary actually ran the audio because James was working that day. And another two that we weren't able to get to were the two owners of Arbor Brewing. There was actually a really James, did you go that night? I don't remember. Yeah, James wasn't there either. But man, there was a huge art festival going on.
Who we absolutely adore. door. I mean, Larry, we have known Larry obviously forever.
Larry's an
and
amazing
we, every year after Art Fair, we close the brewery for the day. The Sunday after Art Fair, we rent a bus and we take our entire staff on what used to just be Bell's, and now we do a little bit of a beer crawl across Michigan. But we've always gone to Bell's, and one year we got Larry to come out and hang out with our staff. And our staff has a tradition of anybody who wears long pants, at some point you're going to get tackled and someone's going to pull out the scissors and cut off your pants. And so, into really tiny little Daisy Duke shorts. And so Larry Bell made the mistake of coming out to hang out with our staff and in long pants. And so somebody started a cut in his pants, and one of my servers proceeded to basically kneel in front of him and tear off his pants with her teeth. And we have all of this. We have photo documentation of all of this. And Larry was such a great sport. I mean, he just hung out with us the whole day, put up with having his pants cut off, and I think that says everything that needs to be said about Larry and the relationship that we all have.
That's great.
So it's nice because in a lot of states, the big brewery is sort of the behemoth bully, and I feel like in Michigan, Bell's has really sort of been the trailblazer for the rest of the breweries and plays nicely with everyone else.
This is the
and
story
has been a
they
really
had
good
about
partner
Larry
for all
Bell.
the small breweries.
It seemed like, man, almost like 4 out of 5 brewers you met on the road, without even having to ask them, they had mentioned something about Larry Bell. That just shows how influential Bell's is throughout the Michigan brewing industry, because Larry Bell, I mean, a lot of people will say he started it. He's the godfather of Michigan beer. And it's really cool that we all got a lot of little stories about Larry Bell. Look how many people are there it brought. And what better way to boost the sales of art is when you put a couple beers in somebody and you know they're going to spend a couple extra dollars on art. So breweries at art festivals are just great ideas. Here's Jill buying a little cupcake out of a cupcake machine maker somebody had made. I believe that's a chocolate peanut butter coconut mini muffin. Jill loves her mini muffins.
Here we go. You ready for this?
Mini muffin.
Oh yeah, check out this shirt Ryan bought. It's ridiculous.
He's never going to wear that. Never.
I actually saw him wear it one time. Probably just one time.
Does he say I hate everything and I'm hardcore?
Big ups to Ryan.
Here we are at Bell's, looking good. Not the whole crew made it today, but this was me, Casey, Ryan, his wife Claire, Casey's girlfriend Kate. There's DFJ there. My dad actually drove us. It was pretty cool.
Yes. Big thanks to James's dad for driving us out there that day. There was some pretty hectic stuff going on that day with we were going to take one vehicle, but then we ended up taking 2. Because, I mean, how many times do you go out to Bell's? Not often for us. So we wanted to make it a really fun trip when we went. And this was such a special shot for us because that was the first time we had Larry Bell come up on the, this is our first time all meeting Larry Bell. So it's kind of like we went the whole 8-day trip and we never got a hold of him. And we didn't know if we'd be able to get him into the movie. And that was just so special. The first sighting of Larry Bell.
Those folks, they got a cool place, and I don't know if they still are at that time.
He was a really nice guy, too. Very mellow, just down-to-earth, cool guy. Very cool guy.
I think we all were a teeny bit intimidated by him because on the trip, we heard so many stories about how he's, this illustrious character.
He seemed kind of elusive.
Yeah. Very. And then when we met him, we were all kind of like, man, what's he going to be like, And he was so awesome. So, yeah, thanks for doing this with us, Larry. It means a lot to us. We didn't think we'd be able to include Bell's, but since Bell's is obviously such a major staple in the brewery industry, so great to have you. And here's another instance of breweries helping each other out. We weren't going to go to the Old Hat right near Bell's. Right here is something really special.
Yeah, that's it. Cool. Heck yeah.
Right here is something really special. It's not an actual brewery that's open right now, but we felt it was so necessary to have it in because James and I are from Muskegon, and Muskegon is probably one of the largest cities in Michigan that doesn't have its own brewery currently. It used to, but like a lot of things in Michigan, moved out and didn't work. But this guy here, he's from Silver Lake, Michigan. His name's Steve Buska. He used to be a head brewer at Bell's, and he moved out here and bought up this huge building. It was an old antiques mall or something, and he's been sitting on it for a couple of years now. I believe the reason why it's not open yet is just some kind of financial issues. However, really, we want to really help this thing out. That's why we put him in the movie, obviously because he, is a brewer, and it just goes to show in a city like Muskegon, which doesn't have a whole lot going for it right now, something like a brewery could really help it out. And we're really hoping that it comes up soon.
Girls walking.
That's Anya. She also helped out with the movie. Should have said that. And this is, we had to do a part in the documentary where the people in the film itself were saying stuff. I don't really remember the whole thing, but yep, there's Bustler being the assistant director that he is. I believe that's a growler of Oberon.
It was Oberon mixed with Lion's Imperial Lager.
Oh yeah, Lion Stout. I don't remember why we had a non-Michigan beer at this point, but
I think it was just to fill up the growler.
Right. I think it was just some beer left over. But yeah, that was the Shoreline in Muskegon, Michigan. Here's Jill jumping in the Muskegon River. Obviously, it was summer now. This is several months after the trip itself took place. But yeah, that's a little bridge we like to go out to and jump off. It's like a 15-foot drop into the river. It's really cool.
There's Haas.
Yeah, that's my dad's dog, Haas. We're at the studio right now where we're editing. This is Matt's interview segment. Good old Matt Monsian.
It's kind of got the Joe Dirt thing going with the mustache and the mullet there. It looks good, real good.
The trip. We'll talk about why
Well, yeah, my home is Michigan. It's been my home all my life. I love everything about it. The weather. I like the people. Our beer is the best.
His brother isn't really in the Air Force, by the way.
When you first asked me to go on this trip with you, I was super excited.
Poser.
I was kind of wondering that myself.
It was a trip around Michigan and quite a long time, and it was an opportunity to get out there and see a bunch of places that I love. And, it turned out to be an incredible time. Met a lot of really awesome people who, took a lot of time out of their busy schedule to just sit and talk with us and tell them what they do day in, day out to give us the great product that they give us. And it was really awesome to
probably the most touching moment I've ever think Matt's ever had in his life.
Yeah, indeed.
Ryan,
Ryan loves dogs. Dogs love Ryan.
There's me on a bike.
I'm almost out of beer. Are you going to start asking me questions or what?
Pretty sweet bike, James. What kind is it?
Oh, okay.
It's a 69 Schwinn Stinger.
All right.
This was kind of an interesting way to film my interview, I guess. We happened to have my bike with me, and
they're not fake.
I was drinking beer, so we figured to film it, and I don't know, I think it turned out pretty neat.
How did we have the idea to do this? I think we were all just sitting around and we're thinking of more interesting ways to film things, get a little bit of artsiness to a shot. I don't know how we had the idea to do this.
Well,
but,
I love Michigan because
it turned out really good.
I'm from here, Muskegon native all my life. I love the proximity to the lakes. I love, we get the 4 seasons, and it's home.
Absolutely.
It was kind of hard to to balance in
another thing I
drink
learned
the beer.
about.
Here's
I
Schmieder.
never really ventured into the UP until we did this trip. And
Yeah, this
the
is
UP
actually
like being
up in a park above Grand Rapids.
Insanely beautiful, and it's open. Like when we got to Lake Superior, that was one of the most amazing. When we climbed up on that ice, that was one of the most amazing, beautiful things I've ever seen. It's just huge, freezing cold waves rolling in and splashing up against us. Like Michigan's great. It's beautiful.
Schmieder's intro was very
Alright,
brief.
it's borderline.
He didn't really say a whole lot. This is a little half pipe Ryan built in his driveway. I don't really know why I included this in the deleted scenes. It really doesn't have anything to do with the film. Just to show you how not very good these skateboarders are.
Well, I don't know what the motivation for the trip was.
Listen to this. This is so cheesy. B-Money is so bad on the camera.
Okay. Motivation for the trip? You know, I love this state.
What a cheese ball.
I can't do this. Hold on,
Yeah,
cut
this
it for
is
a
in his
second.
garden.
I don't know what the fuck to say, man. What do you
He's got
guys
a really
say?
good garden, man. You guys, I give it up to him. He grows some real good vegetables.
Do you want me to keep hoeing while they do it? Yeah. Hold on, I gotta get
Yeah, the
somewhere where I'm
mosquitoes
actually
were so
pulling up
bad
weeds,
that
though.
day. It was just me and him there. I was
Ah,
bent
why
over in his
Michigan?
garden, getting
Well,
mosquito bites.
why not Michigan? The people are great. The soil's fantastic. I mean, so many miles of coastline. During the summer, I don't know how you can't have fun. There's so much to do during the summer. There's so much to see. I mean, every part of the state is different, you know. And during the winter too. I mean, there's so much to do during the winter. We've got snow, you know. We've got ice. Hold on, let me start over.
Yeah, let's start over.
I feel like
We
a
got
turd.
ice. We got winter.
Well, I can say, you know, one of the biggest things that's
Well,
wrong
this
with
is, I believe, the final scene
wrong with
of the
just
deleted
every
scenes.
business
Pretty much
and
the
people's life in
the very
general.
last
I mean,
piece of
when
footage
you
we
involve
shot for the
something like
movie
capitalism
was ironically the very first
to,
scene
you
in the
know,
movie
'cause I mean,
itself.
every brewery has to make, like breweries, they have to make the ends meet. They have to pay their bills, they have to pay their employees. So money has to be thought about. It has to. And how you're going to pay your employees, how you're going to keep your doors open. You have to think about that. And you know, sadly enough, you know, money does cause a lot of problems, but you have to think about it. But if that shouldn't be the only thing you should be thinking about. You should also be thinking about the fact, are you recycling? Are you benefiting your community? Are your business being open, whatever your business may be, is it benefiting the neighborhood? Is it benefiting your neighbors? Or is it just a business for you to make money off of? Because really in Michigan right now, we need to be Michigan. We need to support Michigan. If you really think about the idea, if everyone for the next 2 years, if all of us for the next 2 years decided, I'm just going to be Michigan, I'm just going to support Michigan, I'm going to vacation in Michigan, I'm going to buy whatever products I can in Michigan that are made in Michigan, and I'm going to support Michigan. For 2 years, if everyone in this state did that, we would be, I think we already are one of the best states, but economy-wise, we would be the top state if everyone just said, okay, I know you can't get everything that in Michigan that you need, but if you just got whatever you could, every single product, just made the point to just buy Michigan across the board, we would see a very significant difference. And you can't really say that's impossible to do. You can do it. I mean, it seems simple, and sometimes things that are simple, people think they don't work, but if we did support Michigan, like this summer, I've made it a point where I'm only vacationing. If I'm doing any vacation, any traveling, it's going to be in Michigan. I'm going to stay within Michigan and keep my money in Michigan. If I go up north and rent a cabin from someone who owns it, and then I eat at the local restaurant, you know, that's one more person that they have supporting them, and we can keep, you know. So what's
how that happens, isn't it? But basically, yeah. Thanks so much for watching the deleted scenes. Thanks for buying the movie, for crying out loud.
Yeah, if you bought it. If you bought the movie, thanks. If not, screw you.
No, but for real, man, like, we were just 8 friends that got together, You know, we never have, you know, we're not in the film industry by any means, you know. James is an auto mechanic. I kind of work with videos and stuff. Ryan's a cook. B-Money works at a health food store. Joe works at a beer store.
Schmieder, Cole, and Matt all work in a restaurant.
Yeah. So it was like we all got together and decided to make something that meant a lot to us, and that has to be, you know, the brewing industry and how positive it is for our state. But yeah, anyways, thanks for sitting down. Thanks for watching all these deleted scenes if you made it through them all.
And thanks for drinking Michigan beer.
Yeah, for real. So, this is Casey and James, over and out.